this is part 4.
Oh, is that really?
Part 4 of the 100 Beyond the 100. So from numbers 200 to 101. But today we're doing numbers 165 through 150. Maybe. We'll see how long it goes.
In case this is your first one you're watching, you can go find our other 3. What we're doing on our podcast, The Board Game Mechanics, we're counting down our top 100 games of all time as we approach the end of the year. On the podcast this week, which we haven't recorded yet, because this week is just starting, we're going to be in the 40s for the top 100.
Some good games there.
Really good games. And so we decided to give a little bit more to go out beyond our 100. So that's why we're at the 100 Beyond 100.
Yep, so that's the introduction. So let's go ahead and get started so we're not here all night.
Right. These are still also a caveat. These are good games. Just because they're not in my top 100, like...
Oh, I have some great games on my list.
As you can see, I mean, you can't see all of it, but there's games all around us. We have lots of games. So these are all good games. Am I starting?
Yes.
Okay.
I start the podcast, you start here.
Okay. We have to do the same order. Heaven forbid we do something different.
We do. You know how it goes.
My number 165, where we're starting tonight, is a Jamie Stegmaier game. What's the name of his company?
Stonemaier.
Sorry, Jamie. Stonemaier. And that game is Euphoria. It's got a subtitle. I wrote it down. Build a Better Dystopia.
Yeah, I was like, it does. I don't know. I call it Euphoria.
Yeah, Euphoria. So in Euphoria, like a lot of other Stonemaier games, you're racing to a certain number of points. And to get those points, you're working in this dystopian. The theme is very loose, to be honest.
Yeah.
But you're going and like building these buildings. You are, it's worker placement at its core. You're getting these resources, and they've got odd resources like fruit and I call it Soma because it makes me think of a Brave New World. It's like
Bliss. Electricity, water, fruit, bliss.
There's no like coal or stone.
Stone and brick.
Both?
Stone and brick. Yeah.
Okay. So you're collecting these resources in order to like build these buildings, be on part of these, and like you want to get in on some. You don't have to build them all yourself.
No, you need to contribute.
But you need to contribute. Working on different farms. You're just basic worker placement at all these different places to try and gain points. It's not my favorite Stonemaier by any means. But it's a good quality worker placement. It's got really nice shaped bits, which I'm a sucker for. All the different resources have a different shape removal for them. Not that necessarily enhances the gameplay, but it does for me. And I feel like it's a pretty tight game. Like, I feel like you're all within usually a couple points as you're working towards it, and multipass victory, which again is one of the things.
You have to get all your stars out on the board.
Yes, you have to get stars, but I could work on all these buildings.
Oh, that's true.
Or I could
just put stars all over the board. Yeah.
I forget the other. I haven't played this in a while.
You can put stars at each of the locations.
You don't just put stars.
Yeah, you have to go there and get artifacts to turn into artifacts to put down stars.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then there's like Cliff in the Clouds that you're doing. So you could diversify. Like, okay, everyone's going this road. I'm just doing different, which is what I always like to do. I like that this game offers that. Again, I don't love games that say, oh, the first one to this many points wins. I don't like that. I like you to just play the game and then total up the points at the end. But still a good worker placement game. My 165, Euphoria.
That is a good one. It was on my list somewhere. If we haven't come to it yet. I think it's on the podcast. I'm pretty sure I like this one. So my number 165 is actually a pick up and deliver game that we've played once, but I really like it, and it made my list. And it's called Wasteland Express Delivery Service.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a post-apocalyptic, like Mad Max themed, but Mad Max adjacent, because it's not really Mad Max, where you're trying to go pick up things, like you may need some guns, you may need some gasoline, you may need some water. I think those are the things that you're trying to collect, and then you're going to be picking those up and taking them to either specific locations, to specific people, back to your base, whatever, to score points. You're trying to be the first person to get like so many missions completed. So I think this is a race one too, where you're trying to do stuff before everybody else, like 3 goals or something.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of combat, but you don't even have to do that if you don't want to. You can do your own thing while other people are fighting, and then just have fun with it. There's some cool minis. It has good, I think it has cool art for like a post-apocalyptic stuff. Yeah. But the production is nice and the gameplay is really fun. So, my 165, Wasteland Express Delivery Service. And it's from Pandasaurus, I think.
You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I think. That might not be right. I don't know.
This is a game. That was a game I went into saying I'm not gonna like this at all because I hate post-apocalyptic theme, but the gameplay was pretty fun and it was pretty challenging. My 164 is Light, a super light game that you can find at Target. It's called Summer Camp. I wanted it because of the theme. It's also kind of an intro deck builder. So if you haven't played deck builders before as a mechanic, or you want to introduce people to deck builders, this is a great way to start. So you have these three paths that your camper is going across, and each path is like a different like summer camp badge. So it could be, and you choose which ones you're going to use. It could be water sports, it could be arts and crafts, it could be cooking, it could be friendship, which is my favorite one.
Yeah, outdoors games.
Yeah,
I can't remember. There's like 5 or 6 different kinds.
And so those are going to give you cards to add into your deck as you're playing. It's really simple. The cards don't do a lot. There's every once in a while a card that may give you a little bit of player interaction, but it's super light, but still fun. I know, there's something making weird noise up here. I'm going to have to fix it. It's a super light game, but especially, like, I love to play deck builders, and so I would like to have maybe some of my family who aren't gamers play deck builders with me. And I feel like summer camp is a great way to get them started. The artwork's cute, especially if you were a summer camp kid. Like, it's major nostalgia feels. It's just a fun little game, and you can find it at Target. So summer camp.
It's pretty cheap too. I think didn't your sister-in-law say she got it? No, that was a different game. But it's like $20. It's pretty inexpensive.
I'll talk about that other game here today.
So if you want to learn how to play a deck builder, you've never done one, you like summer camp or camps,
check out Summer Camp 164.
My number 164 is a game from Keymaster. I think you can see it right there on the shelf. I can see it in the screen, so I'm assuming you can see it. And it's called Camby Creatures. This is a game. It has really nice art, really fun gameplay. And what you're doing in this is it's a simultaneous action selection game, which means everybody picks a card, puts it face down, and we all reveal at the same time. And you're basically playing these old school monsters like the Blob, the werewolf, the Thing, Dracula, a mummy, and that kind of thing. And you're trying to use these monsters to, I don't know what the book says, but you're basically like eating or
you're capturing
these humans. Mm-hmm. So you're trying to get different kinds of humans that are going to score in different ways. I don't know how humans score in different ways, but whatever. So there's like
there's the smart ones that are engineers.
There's engineers. There's just regular.
There's teenagers.
There's divers. There's a whole bunch of different kinds of people that you're trying to capture. It doesn't matter. They're just different sets of people, and they're worth different points. So you're trying to play a card to outthink other people, so you get first dibs on these people, or maybe you get extra people from the lineup so they don't score any, or you steal some of theirs, or you give them some ones that are worth negative points. Mm-hmm. It's really good. It's easy to play. It looks amazing. And again, it's a pretty inexpensive game too, like $25-$30, not too bad. And if you're into old school, like 60s, 50s movies monsters, you need to check this out. So my number 164, Campy Creatures.
It's so good. I think I had this on the podcast already. But I love it. The artwork is so good. It's like set collection, but everyone's playing because there's simultaneous action. I love that.
If we played it more, it'd probably be higher for me.
Oh, yeah. My number 163 is also a card game, and it's based on fairy tales, and that's called Dark Tales. What really drew me to Dark Tales is it has really cool artwork, like gothic fairy tale look to it. And I love that. And it's just card games. On your turn, you draw 2 cards, draw a card. Draw a card, play.
Draw a card, play. You may draw a card. It's kind of different. You may draw a card, you may not, but you
have to draw a card unless
the deck runs out. But you may play 1 or more cards. Yeah.
We didn't need to get that technical. Draw a card, play a card, basically.
Yeah.
And there are several different expansions to this game. And when you work, depending on which one you take, like there's a Cinderella expansion. You are trying to like get these slippers or give like the wicked stepmother like the fiery slipper. Like it really goes back to kind of the original gruesome, like Grimm's fairy tales. In Little Red Riding Hood. Oh, also in Cinderella, you're trying to make pairs of people at the ball. Do you know her Dark Tales, Fred?
Yeah, I can't reach it.
Where is it? Here.
It's right there.
Here, I'll show you.
Don't let stuff fall down. Okay, good. I'll hold it up while you talk.
Okay.
Here you go, Fred.
You're
Dark Tales.
You're putting pairs together. Each type of card, there's like villains and there's like landscape, places. You can change from day to night. Different cards will fire off like special powers if it's daytime or nighttime. And all the time you're trying to collect these coins, which are going to be your victory points. You're so weird. In Little Red Riding Hood, like you're trying to get, if you have the wolf, you can like take someone's Red Riding Hood, the wolf eats her. The huntsman can come along, cut it open, take the Red Riding Hood back because she's points. Just a lot of different ways. It's just card play, but I love how like the different cards fire off. You want to like play them in the combo that gives you the most points because you're collecting those points. And the artwork is really cool. So yeah, I really like it. My 163 Dark Tales.
Yeah, I don't know how many people have actually played this game. It's a good game. It's actually done by a designer that does a lot of heavier games. So he has a lot of heavy games and then this one.
Yeah, it's not super light. Jason and I played it at 2. It can play up to 4, I think.
Yeah, I've played it at 4. It's more fun at less player count because you can play more cards.
Yeah, you do get more cards in at like 2. But then it's also like a lot, like you don't have as many options sometimes because cards will play off of, for every villain that's out, you get a coin. Well, if you only have one other person you're playing with.
It's more chaotic at 3 and 4. Like at 4, you're pretty much going to get something taken from you every single time. That's just the way it goes. But it's still fun. It's a fast little game. If you're playing it quickly and not belaboring everything, 30, 45 minutes. It's really
and you're
nice.
like scoring points on basically every turn.
Always scoring points.
It feels like you're getting somewhere. You don't really know where you're getting until the end, but there is that good kind of momentum.
Pretty sure Stefan Fell was involved in that.
You don't feed the people. Oh no, that's Uwe.
That's Uwe.
Hey Scott.
All right, so my number 163 is a game that we got this year from AEG for review, and I really like it. Oh. And it's called Eco's First Continent. And this is, there's more to it, but think of a bingo hall. So you go to a bingo hall and you get a bingo card. There's a person yelling letters and numbers out to you, and you have to mark those letters and numbers on your bingo card. This is the same kind of thing, but in a good board game. So someone's going to draw a little, like a tile out of a bag, and it's going to have an icon on it. Everyone who has an icon on one of these cards in front of them can take one of their cubes and mark that icon. Yeah. When you get a card full, a bingo, you get to activate that card and maybe build some of this map out, put some animals or different types of, like a plant or a mountain on this tile to score points. You're trying to score points based on how the card gives you points. You're trying to score points based on other cards that you've played, other types of terrain. It's just an engine builder kind of, but we're all building the engine together. Yeah. So that's a terrible description, but we have a video of it, and you can go check it out.
Oh, that's true.
If you like where everybody kind of is getting something every single turn, and you're working together to build this map that everybody's using to score, then you're probably going to dig this. It's not super heavy, but there is a lot of icons on the cards, and there are a lot of cards. Yeah. So it's a little icon heavy, but the game is fun. So my number 163, Eco's First Continent.
It is fun. And it's fun when you're like, oh, I got this card completed, and you complete like several cards, and they can chain on each other, and you're doing lots of different things.
Oh yeah, you can like fire off 4 or 5 cards in a turn sometimes because you're getting one. It gives you other icons. It gives you other icons. It's pretty good.
And then I like the little animals, obviously, in the mountains and stuff. Do we have a video for Dark Tales, by the way?
Yes, I did Dark Tales with just base game Dark Tales. I think I don't think I did any expansions.
Yeah, Ecos is fun. My 162. We don't own this game. And I think I've played it once, but it was so good. Like, it's kind of high, and I hope I can acquire this game.
And I'm not going to be able to explain it that much because I can't remember it a lot.
So the game is Taxidermy. So in the game, you are a cab driver, and the board is a map. It can have some... Oh, yes. The board is a map of, like, a city. So you are trying to pick up fares. You want certain types of fares. You kind of have a home base that you operate from. You also are trying not to... You're moving, but you can only move so fast without speeding. And if the cop is near enough to you, you get pulled over speeding. I think they actually take you to jail. Like, you have to go downtown to, like,
I can't remember it. You get a ticket. If you get too many tickets,
then you go to the police station.
Or you at least lose points or something.
And some people, like, you need to maybe deck out your taxi. Like, some people only ride with you if you have air conditioning or if you offer
fancy radio.
Yeah, you have like satellite radio, or so you're also then using some of your fare money to try to upgrade your taxi. And you're trying to get as many people to where they need to go to get as much money as possible with your fares, while not getting pulled over by the cops, getting, like, nice fares. Some people don't want to ride with somebody else; they won't share the cab. Sometimes your cab isn't big enough. You can soup up your cab so you can go further in a turn, so it's like you can go faster. It's like a fun... I like that theme. I think it's really cool. The board looks good. It has good production. The idea, I just think it's a fun idea.
It was actually little car meeples, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what, yeah.
It was really cool. It was really cool. So check it out. I hope I own it one day. I don't know who makes it. I don't know who the designer is.
I don't actually remember that either.
Because, I'm real good. Yes! Okay, Fred played Taxidermy. You're avoiding the cops.
Yeah, it's crazy. And, like... sometimes you may be, like, moving around this, like, undercover cop to places, so you can, like, it's crazy. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on for the little pick up and deliver game, but it's real fun.
Right. And so, yeah, like Fred's saying, if you get all caught up in avoiding the cops, which you just kind of, as long as you don't speed, it's fine.
Or you can speed, but the cops need to be on the other side of the board.
Right. It's cool. And I'm pretty sure that you also have, like, player powers. Everyone has ace make a player.
Yeah, the boards are a little different, I think, the player boards.
That I just like it. It's fun.
It's fun.
Yeah, so check it out. 162 Taxidermy. I will try and look up who made it and the designer.
It may be a little long at 4, but again, we were all learning and playing at the same time. So, but yeah, I definitely will play it again.
That's true. Let's see if I can find it.
All right, so my number 162 is a game that everybody talks about. It's super popular, and it's called King of New York. There's also King of Tokyo, but I've never played King of Tokyo, so I can't talk about that one. But I really like King of New York. All this basically is you're taking on control of a big monster, some kind of like King Kong or Godzilla or something, but not really those because you'll get in trouble. And you have like 5 or 6 dice that you're rolling Yahtzee style. I think you can take 3 rolls, and you're trying to either collect stars to get some points, collect some claws that will attack everybody else to get to New York, or you're trying to get lightning bolts to get energy, and you can also use like a building crush in this one. It's like a broken building roll that will let you defeat some of these like military tiles that are on the board, because the military is trying to defend New York against the monsters, while the monsters are trying to destroy New York. So you're trying to defeat the army. You're also trying to get to Manhattan, wherever.
Yeah,
Manhattan is where you're trying to get to like King of the Hill type thing, to be the first one to either get to 20 points or be the last one alive. That's usually what happens, last one alive. But sometimes people do make it to 20. Katie's made it to 20. I can't make it to 20. I usually can't stay alive. But I just have a good time. This is one of the few games that I like to attack people in because it's really fun to me. I don't know. But it has nice art. I like the silly artwork on the cards. Mm-hmm. The dice are really nice. And it can play, like, 5 or 6 people. Board's really small. Doesn't take up a ton of room. But I love it. So my number 162, King of New York.
I think I've talked about this already because we discussed the difference between King of New York and King of Tokyo, where King of Tokyo is just all attacking. Or
collecting stars or something.
And King of New York, I think, is much better. And I do like a star collecting. Yeah, you just got to attack people in King of New York. And I don't attack people that much in King of New York. Only if I have to. I am after the star game.
I have to attack because I can't get stars, so I just try to attack and outlive. But then because I'm attacking so much, everybody's attacking me and I die. So
My 161 is another game that we don't own. And it's kind of strange. And it's a deck builder. I think I have several deck builders on my list today. Like quite a few. And it's called Lucky's Misadventures. So this is a weird, like, Alice in Wonderland meets Wizard of Oz kind of theme.
Oh, yeah, that is the theme. Yeah. I've completely forgot about the theme. And there's a dog named Lucky.
Yes. Yeah, like you follow your dog into this land like Toto, but then there's other weird things that are kind of Alice-y involved in it. So it's deck building, but it's almost like you marry that deck building with like a flux where there's certain win conditions. So if I build this machine and you have to get the parts into your deck and then get them out together. Or if I have these certain characters together, and I cannot remember who they are, but these characters together and they're in my hand, or the three stepsisters or something, I don't know. If they're in my hand and they all come out together, and then you're trying to like sabotage other people, you're trying to build your deck, you're trying to get through it to get the stuff where you need it to be. It's a really neat deck builder. It's not my favorite, obviously, by any means. It has some fiddliness, but it's just it's a different way of doing things.
Yeah,
like,
it's different how you play it too, because everybody's like picking 3 cards and you kind of reveal them at the same time.
Yeah,
it's like a simultaneous action selection deck builder. Yeah, it's strange.
It's really strange, but it was really fun. Artwork was neat, different. Like it's just a different, neat little game. Again, I don't know who designed it or where it's from. I will also look that up.
I mean, I don't know a lot of that stuff. I just
yes, you do.
If I happen to know it,
you always know it. You're like, oh yeah, that's from Yagaduga Games or whatever. I'm like, who?
Yagaduga Games make some good games. They do. They make all the games that I like.
Oh, it's designed by Jay Meyer and Great Northern Games published it. So it came out in 2018. Yeah, meet characters from Oz and Wonderland in this quirky deck building game. I was right. So check that out. That is my 161 Lucky's Misadventures.
All right, my 161 is also a deck builder, but it's a cooperative deck builder.
Well,
and it's from Upper Deck. Yeah, the semi-co-op is dumb. It's from Upper Deck, and it's called Legendary, a Marvel deck building game. And this is basically everyone's taking on the role. You don't really get any characters, I guess. You're S.H.I.E.L.D., effectively. And as you're playing the game, you're going to be recruiting Marvel heroes to come along the journey. So based on what kind of game you want to play, you're going to take some of the decks of heroes, smash them together. That'll be your main deck. They'll be coming out in a headquarters row that you can hire from. Yeah. I'm trying to use the correct terms. And then you're trying to fight a supervillain. So it could be Magneto, it could be the Red Skull, whatever. There's a whole bunch of different kinds. And you're trying to defeat that supervillain before... I forget how you lose, actually. Maybe all of the heroes are out of headquarters or something. I don't actually remember how
they have like these win condition cards.
Oh, yeah. Master Strikes come out or something. Mm-hmm. You're just trying to kill all the baddies before you lose. And you can play this in a semi-co-op where you get the most points. Because every time you kill a character, a henchman or something, a card's going to give you points. So you can play that if everybody wins, whoever has the most points is the ultimate winner. But that's dumb. So I like to play that as long as we win, we win. You can do the co-op, semi-co-op if you want, but who cares? It's just a fun game, and it's enjoyable, and I like playing it. I played it solo a lot. I just take 2 hands and just have fun, but yeah, it's good. So my number 161, Legendary, a Marvel deck building game.
I like that. I don't know where that is on my list because I do like deck builders. Yeah, for the text does tend to be very small on deck builders. I have a deck builder that has no text on it. But you might already,
in this?
Yeah. But you might already have it.
Oh, yeah. Like a reverse deck builder kind of,
yeah.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it later. Anyway, so my 160 is a deck builder. But it's a 2-player deck builder, sort of. It's a 1v1.
I think you can play it with more. We just haven't. I don't know.
There are expansions. There's also a campaign. That game is Hero Realms. I have heard the Star Realms is exactly the same, but space theme sucks. So Hero Realms is way better. So you have a particular hero that you're playing. Maybe it's a thief. Maybe it's a ranger.
If you have those packs.
Oh, yeah.
Because the base game is just everybody has the same guy or same character. But yeah.
I like the packs of characters.
Yeah, we have the variable starting player decks and the campaign and all that stuff.
Because I feel like that's important. Like, if this is my character, like, I feel like I should have cards unique to me. I like that in
I like when people start off differently. When you all start off the same, it's boring.
It's fine, but I prefer it with the special cards. So then you're going and you're attacking the other player. You're also gathering items from the market. Very traditional deck builder stuff. But you're also trying to, like, fight them, heal yourself, protect yourself. We also have the campaign version, which is cooperative, which we have not played yet. Because Jason doesn't like to play Hero Realms because
we probably should play the cooperative version.
Brutally beat him at the regular version. It's bad. So I would like to the cooperative want to try because it's as close to any kind of D&D adventure that I will ever get him to play.
Probably not wrong.
So it's really good. My number 160 is Hero Realms.
All right, my number 160 is a CMON game. I have a lot of CMON games on my list, which is crazy.
For as much as you hate
I know.
CMON,
Well, but if you look at these, all of these games are like Euro games. There's none like Rising Sun, none of that mess. So this game's not Rising Sun. It's Victorian Masterminds. This is a game from Antoine Bauza. I think Eric Lang actually is a co-designer.
That sounds right. It's over
and
here,
what you're doing in this is basically you are taking on the role of like a supervillain, a Victorian mastermind, and you are trying to construct your doomsday machine. You're trying to rain down doomsday on everybody. And the way that you're doing that is you have these little cogs, these little gears, that you're going to be placing at these different locations. I think there's 5 locations or something like that. And you're going to put them face down, and each one is going to have a special ability. When a certain number of people take actions at that location, you're going to take the stack and flip them upside down. So whoever goes there first gets to just take the action first. You're trying to collect metal. You're trying to collect bolts to put your doomsday machine together. You're trying to collect firepower because you're going to have to defend yourself against a secret service. You're also trying to snatch up buildings because you're a supervillain. Why not? I mean, you want to collect buildings. And everything you can collect is worth points. The buildings are worth points. But you're trying to rob libraries and take some books. They're worth points. Every time you construct your piece of your doomsday machine, it's worth some points. So you're trying to be the first person to hit the end of your doomsday machine to trigger the end of the game, but you're also trying to get the most points. That's effectively it. It's a little bit of take that. There's some characters that are mean that can cancel out other people's special abilities, but it's good and I like it. So 160 Victorian Masterminds.
I like this significantly more than you. Like, podcast worthy more than you.
I think I liked it more before, but I've had a couple games that just weren't as fun.
At 2?
Well, I've even played some 3-player games that weren't that fun.
Oh, we played it at 4, I think, at camp, and it was really good.
Yeah, I played another one at camp that didn't go very well. Like, nothing was happening. Like, there was one person that could never do anything, and somebody was on their doomsday machine, and no one else had done anything.
Were you playing that game? Was I playing it with you?
I don't think you were playing.
Okay, good.
So I think that left kind of a sour taste in my mouth. So it might have knocked it down a little bit.
But then in true CMON fashion, it does have like the really cool buildings.
It has amazing components.
The art's awesome.
Yeah. Even the stupid little cogs look nice.
Yeah. I will talk about this more maybe this week. There's a spoiler for everyone. It's what you get on the Patreon level.
The $0 Patreon pledge.
That's right. My 159 is another 2-player game. So I think these games are good. I've just mentioned before that I play games to play with people. Lots of people. And so 2-player games I don't love because they automatically exclude people. But they're so good, so that's why they're in my top 200. So my 159 is Holmes, Sherlock, and Mycroft. This game is super simple, lightweight set collection.
And some worker placement.
And some worker placement. I love the theme because I love Sherlock Holmes. If you watch or listen, you know I do. Mad about Holmes. And we got this. This is like our first purchase at a con. I have nostalgia. It really
was. It was the first game we bought at Origins, our first year.
I have such nostalgia about it. And we have played it. We take it to camp a lot. We take it on road trip stuff because it's just one little board that folds out. Mm-hmm. Like you have your own set collection, which you can kind of put in front of you, but it doesn't require a bunch of space.
Yeah, just some cards and a little board.
And so you're using your clue power or whatever, which are these magnifying glasses, which is a currency, in order to exchange for these cards that you're trying to collect in sets. And you need to collect more of the set in order to get, like, more points for it. And certain sets only have maybe 2 items in it or 4 items. And so those are like more hot commodities. And the different places you can go to collect either sets or magnifying glasses. Sometimes you give magnifying glasses, sometimes you take them, you rearrange things. There are all these characters from Holmes stories like Irene Adler, Lestrade, Toby, and that makes it really fun too. It's super simple, but it's just a fun little Wiggins fun little game. So my 159 is Holmes, Sherlock, and Mycroft.
It's good. I played that with Brandon, I think this year. He never played it before. Oh, it was still good.
And then you add like the villains. You add Moriarty and Sebastian Moran.
Yes.
You don't always have to play with them.
No, but you should.
Because they kind of switch up how you do things to make it a little more challenging. It's a good game.
What number was that for you? Oh,
159.
I see where I'm at. All right, so 159 for me is a game that I just got in a trade because I love Stefan Feld, and I didn't like this one for some reason. I don't know why. So I got it in a trade, and it is the Castles of Burgundy. I've played it 3 times, solo 2-player, since then. And I think it's growing on me a little
It's
more.
here?
Yeah, it's right over there.
Oh,
I made a trade for it.
I just didn't think we'd gotten it.
Yeah. So what you're doing in this, it's a dice. You're rolling these 2 dice that are going to represent the actions that you can take. What you're trying to do is you're trying to draft these tiles off this main board that are going to represent, like, I think there's 5 or 6 different types of tiles. There's buildings, which are going to, when you place them on your board, they're going to give you some special ability. There's a farm tiles. When you place them on your board, you're going to score points for all the animals on that tile and every other animal on tiles of the same type in that pasture. There's castles, where if you place a castle, you get to take another turn, which is pretty cool. There's special buildings that are going to let you break some rules, give you some kind of bonus scoring. Then there's a mine. Mine's going to generate income at the end of each round. The tricky thing with this is when you roll a die, it's going to have the value on it. It's going to tell you where you can take a die from on the main board. There's 1 through 6. You also have workers that you can manipulate the die. So if you spend a worker, you can manipulate up or down. When you take a die, it goes into this little holding pattern, this holding spot on your player board. Then you have to use another die to take that tile to put it on your player board in the certain color and the certain pip value adjacent to something else. So it's like this big puzzle of taking tiles with numbers, trying to use numbers to get them on your board to fire out the abilities. And the game's going to end after, I think, 5 rounds. There's also some like goods that you're trying to collect, which is kind of ridiculous. And there's also boats that are going to help you move up on like the turnover track and let you sell goods and all that kind of thing. But it's a Stefan Feld game. Everybody knows what this game is. It's everybody's favorite. Go check it out. So my number 159, Castles of Burgundy.
I have played it once, and we played it with it felt like 12 billion people.
It was 4-player, max player count.
I think it was 4. It was terrible. In my memory, it was an awful game. The only thing I can remember is I'm like, I cannot do anything. Nothing is working out. Jim had 1 million pigs.
That's not going to change.
That's all I remember.
That's what it feels like. And yes, Fred, it does have a ton of upkeep. Every round you have to get rid of all the tiles, get out new tiles. It's a lot of tile manipulation it's basically a simple game, but the upkeep is annoying. I agree.
I'm not saying I'm not willing to try it again. I had a bad experience.
I think if we
hate it.
I think if we played it at 2, you would like it a little bit better.
But I honestly try to be better at giving a game another shot after I hated on Broom Service for so long.
And it's amazing.
And played it again and
like
really
I told
enjoyed
you,
it.
It's amazing.
You don't get to be right. Sorry. I gave it a shot. So I would give it another shot, but my initial experience was, and everybody loves it. And I just don't understand.
Most people say that it plays best of 2, though.
Okay. Well,
that's the sweet spot, I guess. But that means your game should have been a 2-player game. Like, if you wanted it, if it's best of 2, make it a 2-player game.
Or make it a shorter game.
Or make it a shorter game.
That's generally the problem.
Yep.
My 158 is a game that has dropped, significantly since we've been doing these lists. And I think it's just because there's a ton of upkeep. It's like...
Castles of Burgundy.
It is not Castles of Burgundy, because that ain't even in my list. It's got tiles are just falling everywhere. I need to find some storage solution for this. But the game is Le Havre.
Oh yeah.
Le Havre is
about tile upkeep. Ugh.
This is a famous designer. Is this a Uwe?
This is Uwe.
Okay, because you got to feed people. See? See?
Next to the other Uwe game.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Mayfair is the one we have, a publisher.
Yeah, I think that might be the only one.
I looked on the box. But I remembered it was Uwe. Okay, so in Le Havre, you are trying to generate goods.
Feature people.
Feature people. and sell them in order to make money. And sometimes you're converting goods to, like, better goods so that you can get more money for them.
It's a lot of good conversion.
There's a lot of good conversion, which means tile is freaking everywhere. And there's stacks and they're toppling over and fish are here and leather's here. And I think that's why it's fallen, because I feel like it's just too much for what it is. And there are other games that you can do that kind of conversion. Like I'm thinking Concordia and even Harbor is a much more concise game than Le Havre. But I am a fan of a lot of Uwe games. I have liked this game. It was ranked quite high in the past, but I think it's because I had played less games at the time. And I found out it just is a little of a clunky experience. It is the most hideous. Is this, it looks like, what's it say? It's Franz.
It is. It's Uwe, and it's Mayfair, so of course he's doing the art.
The art is awful. Woof. But it's a good game. Still, like, it's in my top 200. But it is super fiddly. Thank you for the high five, Fred.
So I like this game. I'm not sure where it is on my list, but I can't stand the tiles. If they could figure out some way to make those tiles better. And, like, because you got to be careful, because if you put your tile on your board on the wrong side, you've already upgraded and you're cheating.
Right.
Or if you flip something from that's upgraded back down, you've just screwed yourself over. Like, yeah, they got stacking those stupid ports. It's just, a pain in the neck. I like the game. It's fun. It's just the tiles are a madness.
Yeah, that's why it's where it is now. Dull as vanilla workers are blue disc. Yes.
I mean, these workers are just colored discs. So.
That's exactly.
All right. What one was that for you?
That was my 158.
All right. My 158 is a VTOL game. This is low for a VTOL game.
I've never played this.
Again, I've played this 3 or 4 times, and each time when I'm done playing, I'm like, eh. And it's called CO2. I know this is some people's favorite VTOL game. It's another semi-cooperative game where you either all lose together or you end the game successfully, but only one player wins, which is weird. So you're basically running these power plants, and you're trying to convert to clean energy to get rid of the coal, to get rid of pollution. You're trying to do all this before you hit, like, I don't know, it's like 500 million parts, a million parts of pollution, some threshold of pollution that the world can't sustain. You're trying to do all that before you hit that threshold and the game ends and you lose. So you need to make sure that you can get through all the rounds, keep pollution down, so you have a chance of winning. And on your turn, you're going to do like one action. You can plan a power plant. You can construct a power plant, which means you flip the tile over, you get a bonus. Or you can actually install the power plant into the region. You got to get rid of some carbon offsets, whatever those are called, and pay a lot of money. You're trying to get scientists to be studied up in all these things to move up on some tracks, because you have to be at a certain level of knowledge before you can build these power plants. You can use other people's stuff, which is interesting too. So if, like, I propose a green power plant, you can then go there and flip that over and install it for your power plant. So you stole it from me. It's weird, but it's kind of good. That's why it's my 158. So CO2. I want to like it more because I love VTOL, but this one's just, I don't care. Like, the theme is cool. I just think the gameplay's not as fun as some of his other ones.
I've never played this, mostly because
I think you would hate this one, honestly.
I don't care about the theme because it produces ugly artwork.
I think the theme is fine, and it handles the theme well. It's just the gameplay is not that fun.
I probably won't play it. My number 157 is a cooperative game, and it is brutally hard, but it's an IP that I love, although you can get this in other versions. And that is Harry Potter Death Eaters Rising. So in it, you take, like, a faction, we'll say, in the Harry Potter universe, like the Dumbledore's Army, or Hogwarts, or
Order of the Phoenix.
Order of the Phoenix. And you have those characters in front of you, and you are working to try and stop the Death Eaters from taking over locations.
Yeah. Voldemort takes over locations. Death Eaters kill wizards. You need to capture so many Death Eaters and kill Voldemort before too many wizards die, or you lose too many locations.
Which...
It's impossible.
I don't know how. There's a SpongeBob version called Plankton Rising. Which
I want so bad because I love SpongeBob.
I hate SpongeBob. At me. Go for it. And there's also a Marvel version, Thanos Rising.
Yeah, which is pretty good. We played that one.
That one is good too. I just happen to be a Potterhead. But it's so hard. Like, we've only played it a couple times. Never even come close. Which... I think I just like it this much because it's Harry Potter and I like to play those characters.
It's a fun game too. It's just hard.
And each of the characters has like their own kind of special action that they're doing in order to help like clean up areas and take down Death Eaters and stuff. So I like that. I like kind of manipulating these different characters for you and what they can do. Because you get these cards eventually. You like capture the cards and they go into
if you can rescue the wizard by matching dice faces, they join your team.
Right, so then you can kind of create synergy then between different characters, which I think is cool. And there's dice rolling, but the dice hate me so bad. And so Voldemort ends up winning all the time. It's very depressing.
I played a game of this with Brandon and Josie, and we lost in like turn 2.
It was
awful.
It's so hard. I feel like I need to be like, is there like a way to make this a justice for kids? Because I would play that way.
That's the SpongeBob one.
Because it's so hard. But I feel like there's a lot of thematic elements in it. And since I really like the IP and the production's cool, like Voldemort is like
it's huge.
A big fat mini in there, man.
Yeah, it's sweet.
I like it. So that's my 157, Harry Potter Death Eaters Rising.
Yeah, this is a good game. It's brutally hard, but it's good. And it's brutally hard in like randomness. So sometimes you can't even do anything about it because you're rolling dice. But
yeah, you're like, well.
So my number 157 is a game that I've played twice. And it's been like a year. So I'm going to have a really tough time explaining it. And it's called Railroad Revolution.
And I've never played it, so I can't help you.
This is a What's Your Game.
Oh.
And I traded for it, so I do have it because I'm trying to get all those games. And what you're trying to do is you're taking on the role of a different railroad company, I believe. Again, I haven't played it in a while. And you're basically trying to chart track through the map. You're building tracks, you're building train stations at these different locations. You're also doing the Western Union line, trying to climb up these tracks to score some points. You're drafting different types of workers because certain color workers can only activate certain abilities. Just a whole lot going on. If you played a What's Your Game before, it's going to feel very familiar. Mm-hmm. It has all the same like DNA as some of the other ones, but packaged in a different theme. So I like it. I need to play it again because I don't remember it a ton. I just remember I really liked it, and I liked it so much I got a copy of it. So that's my 157, Railroad Revolution.
It in some ways reminds me of Pacific Rails, which we haven't played, but we own.
Correct. It's like that, but way more heavy and convoluted.
But I thought you said that Pacific Rails is
That's just because I couldn't understand the scoring. The scoring of that one is weird. I understand how to play it. I don't think I could teach it because I don't understand how to score it.
Okay. My 156 is a really light, simple game that we got super cheap. It's really fun. It's pirate themed, which I love. And that is Blackfleet. I saw that.
My number 156 is also Blackfleet.
So in Blackfleet, you have a merchant boat and a pirate boat. So there is parts where part of the game is pick up and deliver. You're picking up goods at these different ports and you're delivering them to other ports to score.
That's the whole crux of the game. That's it.
Right. You also then can take your pirate ship and move it around and get loot from other people's merchant boats.
AKA rob them.
Yes. Also, so you're doing this through these cards, hands of cards. And you'll play a card and it will have you move. There's these two kind of regulatory ships.
There's a purple and a yellow Navy ship.
Navy ships. So they're Royal Navy. They're out there, taking care of the pirates. So you can use them to get rid of people's pirate ships. The thing is, they sink the pirate ship. You just come back the next turn.
Yeah.
So while that is mean and you get kicked out, it's not really that big.
The pirate ship basically is going to come in almost every turn or every other turn.
Yeah, you're going to get booted out every other turn. So it's mean, but it's the consequences aren't dire. You don't like lose everything you've worked for. And then you're going to move each of your ships a different number of spaces. You've got other cards that kind of augment that you can play on it. So you're trying to get the highest return for your goods without, having pirates get rid of them. You, as a pirate, trying to steal goods, avoid the navy, and then go bury your treasure to get points for that.
And I don't think every island can have... You can't sell the good that you take from that island to the same island.
Right.
But I don't think every island can also buy everything else either. Mm-mm. And if it can, it's like one of them's drastically real cheap and one of them's clearly the island you want to go to. So, yeah.
So you're moving around the board. And then you're getting these coins in order to buy these cards and actually make a really neat looking tableau. And when you buy the card, you flip it over and it gives you a special power. So maybe you get to move double for something.
And they're all different.
They're all different between players.
Awesome.
So it's a fairly simple game, pirate game, but there's some neat little player powers and stuff in there, and it can be take thatty, but you still are going to be okay because it's not super detrimental.
It's not game ending. It's just your pirates. Of course, it's going to be take that.
Right.
If it doesn't bother me, it's clearly okay.
Yeah. So it's fun. We got it wicked cheap. I mean,
Asmodee Black Friday sale, $5. You guys think I'm kidding about the $5 games. I buy a lot of $5
we
games.
find some $5 games. And plus, we didn't know anything about it. I'm like, oh, this looks cool. I like pirates. $5.
And now it's out of print and expensive. So, good job me. Future Jason was looking out for past Jason, I guess.
Actually, I think I was the one that was like...
Oh, maybe. Future Katie was looking out for past Jason. That's what's going on. Or past... Whatever.
Past Katie
you understand what I'm saying.
Future Jason.
Yeah.
Anyway, now that we've gotten that figured out... Our 156 is Black Fleet. It's a fun game. I didn't realize out of print. I'm sorry.
That's what I heard. I mean, remember Bob was trying to find a copy of it.
Yeah, it's good.
And he paid $50 for it or something.
Don't.
It's not worth $50. It's a fun game.
It is fun.
It's if you want to play it, if you have fun with it, $50 is probably fine. But
Jason would never pay $50 for a game.
I pay $50 for very few games.
Yeah. It's fun. So since we both have the same 156, I'll move on to 155. My 155, I'm sure, is up higher on Jason's list. The last time I played it, I just was like, I did not have fun with this game. So that tanked its spot for me, and that game is the Prodigals Club.
Well, we did play with Joel.
We did.
So we need to try it again.
I don't know if you've noticed a common theme with when I have bad experiences with the games. A lot of them happen with Joel. I love Joel. We've been friends for, almost 20 years now.
And it was late. It was late at night too.
Yeah.
So it was like a double whammy there.
It just did not go well. So in Prodigals Club, this is the successor to Last Will.
Last Will, yeah.
Which I haven't played because
you have effectively played Prodigals Club. It's the selling your property to lose all your money. That's what Last Will kind of does.
I might like it better than this one because I feel like there's still other stuff that's annoying.
I like all the other stuff that's annoying.
Of course you do. So Prodigals Club, you are a rich person and you're trying to get rid of all your money and you're trying to tank your reputation
and lose votes in the whatever you're in
Parliament or whatever. You're doing all these things to just ruin yourself. So you're going on it was naked picnics as one of the pictures, but
yeah, you're going on naked picnics and people are taking pictures of you and just
you're betting on the ponies poorly and
selling your $6 horse for $2.
Right. You're trying to get rid of your stuff. I liked it more. I had the bad experience. I'm not saying it's bad. I think I need to play it again, and it might be okay.
Had you played it before that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't remember if you played it before.
I played it before because I knew how to play.
That's right.
But there are a lot in this one. There are a lot of moving pieces. There's buying these certain tiles that you can match up to get bonuses on it, like the icons. That part is kind of lost on me. Knowing when to sell things to get rid of the most money, but there's a balance. You could maybe have no money, but your reputation is still kind of high. Your highest level is what's scored. Yep. And so that's what makes it really tricky. And there's this grid that you're moving down.
That's the...
see, I think that's stupid too.
That's the reputation.
It's...
Yeah.
I think that's a little convoluted. Jason, for some reason, likes it. It is thinkier. And maybe because the last time I played it and it was late at night, my brain was not firing all cylinders. I could possibly do better.
Well, and you can also play it where you instead of using the votes, the reputation, and the like selling stuff, you can just do 2 of those as well. Instead of doing all 3. So it makes it a little less stuff to focus on. But I like doing all 3.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just something about how it went that I was just not.
Yeah, it has a lot going on. It's a beefy game. It's a pretty heavy game for like a silly
for
theme.
being like the most ridiculous theme. But I mean, obviously, I still think it's good. 155. I just need to give it another play.
I'm pretty sure it's in my top 100. If it's not, it's at least higher up in this section.
Yeah. Otherwise, totally fake news. So my 155, the Prodigals Club.
My 155 is a game that I just made a trade for again this year, and I really like it. I think I like it more than everybody else I played it with. And it is called Cleopatra and the Society of Architects. And we actually have the Days of Wonder one, the one's out of print. There's a new, nice, shiny, deluxe one that's like $900. Everything's plastic. You know I don't have that one. But even the Days of Wonder one looks amazing. And what you're trying to do is you're effectively trying to build Cleopatra's temple. And you're the way you're doing that is there's like a market of cards that you're going to be able to draft from. The trick is some of the cards are face up, some are face down, so you don't always know what you're getting. So you're going to take some cards. You're trying to collect different types of resources. There's workers, there's stone, granite, some kind of gem, and I don't know. There's different resources that you're trying to collect, and each of the things that you're trying to build obelisks, sphinxes. Walls around the temple, all these kinds of things take different resources to build, and they're going to score in different ways. And you're trying to get the right resources to score these points because you want to have the most points at the end of the game. Every time you build something, though, you're going to have to roll these dice, and if an Ankh comes up, it gets set aside. If all the Ankhs come up, you got to have this auction thing where you can bid money to get rid of some corruption, because you can take corruption in this game to take better actions, because some of the cards are really good, but they give you corruption. And if you had the most corruption at the end of the game, even if you had the most points, you get fed to the alligator or the crocodile or whatever.
Every time we played this game, that has happened to me.
Katie did it once, and then me and Katie did it the second time.
And who had the most points both times?
So you can't just use all the good cards, because you're going to have the most corruption and you're going to lose. So it's a balance of, I really need to do this, so I need to take some corruption here. But then when it's time to auction, you may have to give up 30 points or something to get rid of some corruption, because you don't want to lose. You can have the least amount of points, but if you only want alive, then you win. So it's really cool. It looks awesome on the table when everything's set up.
Yeah.
It's just tons of plastic. Just looks really nice. So my number 155, Cleopatra and the Society of Architects. And I'm sure the new one is great too. I just haven't played it and probably never will.
I don't know if this one's on my list, but I like it. Again, I'm not willing to give up so many points, and so then I end up with too much corruption. And
pretty much almost every turn you're going to get some kind of corruption, it seems like. Like, there's a lot of cards that give you corruption, a lot of actions that give you corruption. It's tough.
Yeah, it's not like I'm playing like corruptly.
Yeah.
It's just I don't want to get rid of my points in exchange for getting rid of the corruption, and I just keep hoping that I somehow am not the one with the most, and yet I always am.
Yeah, because you can't see the corruption either, because it's hidden underneath this pyramid. So you can kind of guess who is doing the worst if you're paying attention, but again, you're usually wrapped up in your own thing.
Right.
So I can see, well, you just took like 5 corruption, so I know I don't have that many, so I'm good. But
then sometimes I don't remember.
Right.
Because you put them in your little pyramid, which is cool. It looks super cool on the table. Like, we played it.
It's amazing.
And people always want to stop and say, ooh, what's that? Like, it's cool. My 154 is a deck builder I was talking about earlier that does not have words in the cards. And it's really kind of a reverse deck builder.
True, it doesn't really. It has words, only has words on like the action cards. Yeah, that's right.
So you are actually thinning out your deck. And that game is called Chiseled. And I have never really played a game like this. It's really interesting.
Here, Scott, I'll show you the box. We also have a video you can check out. Or Fred, I'll show it to you.
He said it's a fun game. It does look nice.
That was Cleopatra.
Oh yeah, are you talking about Chiseled? I feel like Fred's talked about Chiseled before, with us maybe. So you are building sculptures, and the thing about it is your deck has all these different sculpture parts. You're like way down too low now. You can't even. What's wrong with you? Stop it. You are building sculptures. Your deck has a ton of parts for sculptures. So a bunch of hands and arms and
heads.
Torsos and heads. but you don't want to have like an odd number of arms because that would be completely like this is more traditional
madness. Come on.
Sculpture. So you want equal number of arms. You want to have like a decent amount of heads and matching torsos for them. So you are drafting these sculpting tools from the middle of the table to help you like chip away at the parts you have in your deck to end up with the perfect amount of sculpture pieces at the end. It's so cool. There's also like these judges that will judge your sculptures on like based on like different sculpture parts, different colors and those sorts of things. Yes, okay. It's really neat. Like it's a different kind of deck building because it's in reverse. So you're like, okay, I do want to get rid of cards because you've also got some like, what do they call it?
Plaster.
Scrap.
Yeah, scrap. You can play with plaster too, which gives you like a little bit of more
plaster
flexibility.
helps stuff.
Yeah.
And then there is some like variety with the different tools that can come out and be played with what the judges judge on. It's neat because then you're like, oh crap, how many arms do I have? Like, and like, oh, I'm going to use a jackhammer because I'm going to get rid of a ton of stuff. Well, you could get rid of a ton of scrap, but you could also get rid of like 3 heads, and that's no good.
Yeah, a lot of randomness that's could bite you in the butt.
Yeah, and the theme, I automatically thought of you, Fred. Like the theme is cool.
Oh yeah, it's a cool theme.
Classic art sculpture, very like Grecian, like these. Like the David, like that's what kind of sculpting you're looking at, and it's just a different way to look at deck building. I really like it, so that's why it's my 154 is Chiseled. It also has a solo player.
It does. It's like you're just trying to get them the highest score. It's like a beat your own score challenge. Yeah. I haven't played it, but I looked at it and it looked kind of cool. All right, so what was that? 154.
154.
My 154. Is a game from TMG, RIP, and it is called Scoville. And I've talked about this. I don't know, on a podcast we played it or something. And this is a game about farming peppers. You're a pepper farmer, and you're trying to grow different types of peppers by doing some crossbreeding and all that kind of thing to basically make the best chili. You're trying to grow all these peppers to make the best chili in a chili cook-off.
Is that what you're trying to do? I just thought you were pepper growing.
You're growing peppers so you can make the best chili for the chili cook-off.
Look at you with the theme.
I know. I played this game a lot, though. So I do understand the theme. But ultimately what you're doing is there's a grid, this is the board, and you're going to be planting peppers. Everybody's going to be using the same board, planting peppers. And when you move your little farmer around, based on where he's next to in these 2 peppers is going to determine what color pepper he can harvest. So if I go to a blue and yellow, obviously I'm going to do green. But if I go to like 2 black, it might give me a white. Or if I go to 2 whites, it's going to give me a clear, which is like the ghost pepper, which is the best pepper that you can get. You're trying to collect these peppers to turn them in to make chili to score some points. And it's like a race to, there's like so many chili recipes that are available for the game, and you're trying to just do more of them so you can score the most points. There's some other ways to get points, but that's the crux of it. So it's a farming game. I like farming games. Farming, contract fulfillment, I'm in. So, my number 154, Scoville. If you can find it, I'd say play it. It's fun. It's enjoyable. Not super heavy, but it's also not like super light either. It's just solidly medium.
Yeah. We need to design a special card that has
Fred's hot sauce that like burns your mouth off, but tastes so good.
Delicious.
Yeah, it's amazing.
My 153 is like a super heavy themed game. It's a cooperative game. But like I think it's so worth it because it's so educational, and that is Freedom, the Underground Railroad. And you've heard us talk about this before. Freedom, the Underground Railroad. You are helping slaves escape plantations in the South through the Underground Railroad up to Canada. You have your own player. You're one of the conductors for the Underground Railroad. Actual people. Mm-hmm. You have a special player power based on who you are. Mm-hmm. So you're trying to move slaves. You get so many action points that you can use. Slave catchers are moving back and forth, trying to stop. So like as you're moving the cube, they're just cubes, right? They're just cubes.
Not even black cubes. They're natural wood color cubes.
You're moving up the map, but then you can see the slave catcher is going to come and connect those
awful.
cubes.
It's awful. Because you know you have to sacrifice some cubes in order to get other cubes free. which is terrible. Like, you got to give this slave up to get these 3 slaves over here up into Canada, and that's awful. It feels terrible. It's just an abstracted vision, but it's just terrible.
Yeah, it's the reason, and we held off on it for so long because it's expensive.
It is expensive.
Because whatever that company is that makes it,
Academy.
They have expensive games,
but they're always super educational.
Yes.
They look really nice on the table. They're nice productions,
well researched, thorough, and this is a really good game. Like, the mechanics of it are good.
I think I got this in a trade. I did trade.
We did trade for it because there's no way I would buy it.
Yeah.
We every year we go to con, like, no, I can't drop that much money on it. But it's just so intense. But really good. Like, you have that cooperative feel. I love games like that in a co-op where I feel like we're really uniting together. We're really accomplishing something. All of your choices seem like they're really important. You're working together.
Every choice is it really is super important. If you make a wrong decision, you're going to lose.
It's hard. It's hard too as a co-op.
Yeah.
But really rewarding when things work out well. So
I played with Brandon and we got destroyed. Like, we still had like 3 slave boats left and we were done. It was bad.
And then you feel like a terrible human being.
The gameplay does justify the price tag. I mean, you're not going to leave the game like, man, that was so fun. But you're going to be like, man, that was awesome.
Yeah, like, I really played.
The experience was good. Every action. Like, this is the only game that I think I've played. Even Black Orchestra doesn't do this. This is the only game that I think I've ever played where every action feels like it's the most important action that you've taken in your whole entire day, even in your real life. Like, I need to move this cube from this space to this space. But should I?
Right.
Like, it's amazing. If it wasn't so expensive, I would have bought it a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing. If you can find a copy or you know someone that has it, definitely play it at least once. You might not like it, but I would say play it once. It's a great time.
Yeah, I think it's good. And, as a teacher, like, if I was doing something with history, like, I would absolutely encourage my students to do this.
I would have play that for a class period or something.
But instead, I teach English, so we do different games. But yeah, so my 153, Freedom the Underground Railroad, definitely try and check it out if you can.
Yeah, also not one we play a lot because it's super heavy. Like, theme heavy, not gameplay heavy.
Yeah. And also I know at a lot of cons, like, they'll go and set up, and this is a game that a lot of times is out there for demo, and that's how we played it the first time. And we didn't even play through like a whole round. We're like, this is so good.
Yeah, I think we played through one era, and there's 3 eras, and
that was enough.
So, all right. So my number 153 is a lot. It's way more on the lighter side, and it's great for this time of year. We also have a video for this one. It's called Santa's Workshop. So this is a worker placement game where you're controlling 4 different elves. They're going to be different shapes because they are going to get different they're going to get different strengths, like things that they're good at as the game goes on. And what you're doing is you're sending these elves out to collect different types of materials. You're trying to make toys for Santa's sleigh. So, I may need some fabric, I may need some metal, I may need some wood. I might even, if I want to be cheap, go get some plastic. And then I need to go to the assembly room and I got to put all these toys together. So I'm trying to collect the resources, make my elves smarter, better at doing certain things. Feed reindeer.
Cookies.
Get cookies, which are points. Then go to the assembly room to put all the toys together to score some points. Then you're going to get, every so often, Santa's going to come around and he's going to judge who's made the most toys. And you're going to get some extra points.
He's going to check his list twice, man.
So if you're the better elf, you get more points. And then you're going to just do that, I think, through, I'm not sure what the end game is, but you're going to keep going until you hit the end game.
So many presents, I think.
Oh, that could be. And then whoever has the most points at the end of the game is the winner. It's real cute. It's super heavy game by any means. It's Lords of Waterdeep level. Like, pretty basic worker placement with some adorable theme. I'd rather play this at Christmas time than Lords of Waterdeep just because I like the theme.
Yeah.
So my number 153, Santa's Workshop, and it's usually cheap. You can usually get this pretty cheap. So if that's a plus for you like it is for me, go for it.
There aren't a lot of good Christmas theme games, in my opinion. And this is a good one. The artwork is...
I don't necessarily like the artwork, but...
It's not really good. But they are different elves because, like, my elf can be, like, a tinsmith. And so then they're good at, like, collecting the tin or whatever. Or they're really efficient and they can make certain toys faster. I don't ever make plastic toys.
Oh, I make a whole bunch of plastic
Jason
toys.
makes all his cheap plastic.
I make like 400 toys and I have like 12 points.
Yes, which is why Jason loses at Santa's Workshop. But it is a fun game, and like the reindeer are cute and the cookies are cute. Like, it is super cute. It's nice to have around this time of year for sure. My 152 is a 2-player game. This section is 2-player games and deck builders. And that is Parks Memories Coast to Coast. So this is one of the newest.
This one, I can't remember this one that well.
That's because you couldn't figure it out. This is one of the newest games. Keymaster, I know who does this, put out in the Parks line. It's back here.
Oh yeah, it's over there. I'm not gonna get it out because there's lots of boxes.
It's way underneath. So it's like they say it's a memory game, and it has the gorgeous artwork from Parks. But you have these cards laid out in front of you in a grid, and what you're doing is you're trying to match Parks. Okay, sounds simple, right?
You make it sound simple. It's not that simple.
So you're using this like totem thing, and on your turn, and you can get on your turn you can flip a card. There is always one card kind of that's face up, so that you know there could be more than one depending on how you play it with the special powers, and you want to match that card. The problem is if you just flip over 2 brand new cards and they match, you can only take one of those cards. So then the other match is just left out there taunting you, and the person you're playing against will take it.
Unless you're me and I can't remember anything. So
or they should if they're paying attention, because the card is right in front of me.
In my defense, I didn't really understand the game because you got to like make the matches, but then there's also like it's more than just that. Like there's like a match of the card, but there's also some icons that are different. So I was trying to match one thing, but I really should have been matching something else. Yeah, I don't know. I was struggling with this one.
If you match, so there's additional like almost like weather type icons or maybe habitat icons on the different pictures. Yeah. And when you match them, you fill up this like power, this special power that you can use. And I think there's 3 different versions of this game, and they each have different powers in them.
We have memories.
They're all memories, honey. It's like Coast to Coast is ours.
Oh yeah, that's what
there's like a mountain one. It's like water, mountains, forest.
I just grabbed one. You could buy all 3, but
Jason wouldn't buy all 3 for me.
Why would you need all 3 of the same game?
But my sister-in-law found it on sale for like.
That's Trails.
Oh, it was Trails. Shoot, I thought it was this one.
This was not. I don't think this is actually on sale anywhere.
Yeah, I don't. You'd have to go Keymaster's website.
Kickstarter only. I don't even know if Keymaster sells it. Yeah,
I don't know.
I can't look it up because I'm using my phone. But.
Sorry, everybody. I'll look it up. See if you could actually buy this game. But it's like memory to the next level. So you're using special powers then that allow you to manipulate what you can do on a turn. Maybe you can turn over an extra card. Maybe you can flip down some cards, rearrange them. Then you have like this totem thing that you lay down at the end of your turn. It locks a whole row, or if you use a special power, it can lock maybe 2 intersecting rows.
That's a really nice piece. I like that.
It is a really nice piece. It's like this thick wooden totem. Locks that row from the other player using it on their turn. So that can help you like save a card for yourself, plan ahead for your next turn. So there is a decent amount of thinkiness to this game in what would be a match game. But I really like it.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, I flipped over Dora, now I gotta go find the other Dora. It's way more than that.
Boots. Yeah. No, it's better. It's good. It's really good, and it's beautiful. The production value is fantastic, just like all the other Keymaster games. I like this one. I will eventually get Jason to figure out how to play it because I would like to play it again.
Yeah, I need to try it again.
I don't understand what's so hard about it.
I don't know. I was riding the bus.
But it's really good. So that's Parks. My 152, Parks Memories. We have Coast to Coast. So I'm going to look it up and see if it's for sale anywhere.
All right, my number 152 is a game that Katie likes. It's probably in her top 100 if I had to venture a guess, if you didn't say it already. And it is called Elysium. So this is a game from Space Cowboy or Space Cowboys. Brett Gilbert and Matthew Dunstan, I think, are the designers. And effectively what you're doing in this is you are trying to collect sets of cards. And the cards are themed in, what is that Greek? Greek gods, different Greek gods. So there's Athena, there's Zeus, who's the water one?
Poseidon.
The guy with the hammer.
Hephaestus.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to name them? There's Greek gods. Jason doesn't know any of them. Don't worry about it.
There's 8 different gods. You're going to pick 5. You're going to shuffle them all together. Those are going to be the cards you're going to play with. So on your turn, you have, I think there's 4 different, you have these 4 pillars that are different colors. There's red, yellow, blue, and green. On your turn, you have to get rid of a pillar, and you're going to take a card. In order to take a card, the pillar that you get rid of has to match. You have to have the pillars remaining of the card that you're taking. So if I get rid of the green card, the green pillar, and there's a card out there that needs the black and yellow pillar, I need to still have the black and yellow pillar in front of me to take it. So I can take that card, put it in front of my tableau. That's a card that's active. Like the special abilities on it will be active for as long as it's up. Eventually, I'm going to take that card and I'm going to move it down into Elysium, and that's where it's going to score points at the end of the game. I'm trying to collect sets of each of the different numbers, like 5 1s, 5 2s, 5 3s. Or I'm trying to get a set of 1 through 5 and all in the same god family. So if I have Athena 1, I want to do Athena 5, I think is what I go to, or Athena 3 something. And if I can do that, I get a pile of points. And there's like some racing elements where you want to do that before everybody else. You're trying to collect certain different other cards before everybody else. And it's going to be played over 4 rounds, I think. It's really fast. And you're just trying to do all that stuff in that short period of time. It's like 16 actions or something, and then the game's over. So it's just a nice puzzle, nice set collection, and like resource management game kind of. So that is my number 152, Elysium.
Tableau builder set collection. I love this game. Yes, it has not come from the podcast yet. Maybe next week. It's probably about where it'd be. I love this game because there's actions that happen right now. There's actions that then happen when it goes to Elysium. There's actions that happen at the end of the game, and like you're balancing that to try and get the most points. Yes, do I keep the card out here active to keep using that ability, or do I retire it to Elysium to complete a set to get some different points?
Because if it's not in Elysium, it's not scoring any points for you. It might during the game, but it's not at the end of the game. It's
real good. I love it. There have been rumors round and round of an expansion. I have begged for it.
That would be amazing.
Message the designer even.
All you need is more cards. 8 more god cards. There's plenty of gods.
Oh,
Throw the Roman gods in there if you want to. Who cares?
Well, then it's the same. You just rename them. But they have a slightly different.
Yeah, they could be different.
They're a little more.
Mean?
No, militaristic. And then some people do different stuff.
Who's the god of war? Is that Ares?
Ares is Greek, yeah. Mars is.
Yeah, Ares is in this one too. He's mean.
Yes.
He's the mean one.
Yeah, there's tons. There's tons that you could use. I don't know why there hasn't been another one. Everything that I have read, gamer people love this game.
Yeah, I think we got this one for a song too. I think we picked it up for like $20 somewhere. And again, out of print. I think.
They need to make an expansion. I thought somebody said that they were talking about it. Anyway, my number 151 is a game that we backed. The first game we backed on Kickstarter. No, we didn't back on Kickstarter. The first game that of anyone that I knew backed on Kickstarter.
Kim backed it on Kickstarter.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't know anything about Kickstarter. And she's like, oh yeah, I backed this game. I'm like, what? You think you're going to get it? Like, that sounds real shady.
It is shady. The process still feels shady to me, but yeah. That's what we do.
But now I know a little bit more about Kickstarter. That game is unfair. There is the newer-ish re-implemented version called Funfair, where they take the meanness out, but...
And they also take a lot of the fun out of it.
Which is surprising coming from Jason.
Because it's like streamlined to the up, like there's nothing you do. You take a card and you put it in there. There's no other actions.
So in Unfair, you are making an amusement park. And you've got like a particular goal that kind of helps.
It's a good idea.
Dictate. I can't remember how many games that we've...
It would be like all my games.
Yeah. Someone gave this to us. We made a trade for this.
I might do that. Stay tuned to the channel. Maybe I'll do it.
What are the cheapest games that we've ever got?
I could do it. I'll look around while you're talking.
I don't remember how much you pay for games. I'm like, I remember that was on a sale table. That's it. I don't know. So anyway, Unfair, really good game. You want to build this amusement park, you can like keep a theme. Like you want pirate theme, so let's do a pirate theme ride. You can upgrade your rides with like better seating or some air conditioning. You want to have places where people can go, like to buy souvenirs or food or whatever. And the cool thing is, like, there's kind of, I don't want to say a lot of moving parts, but there's lots of different steps in a round. But they have it all laid out for you, and you move this little, like, roller coaster car for each one. So that helps you know, what do I do? Oh, it's time for us to draft a card. Okay, now it's time for us to do this. In Unfair, like, there are these like main cards that you draft for each round. There's like a mean effect that you could do to somebody else, and then there's a good effect that you can get for yourself. Only like once or twice has anyone, when we've played this game,
too many times.
Played the mean effect. One was me. And I shut down one of your roller coasters.
Yeah, that's awful.
But because I didn't need the good effect. That's what I was supposed to do.
You shouldn't have played the card.
I had to.
You don't have to play one of those cards.
Well, it felt good. I want to do something. But for the most part, the good part of the card is so good that you're like, wow,
Yeah.
I'm not going to bother messing with somebody else's because I've got my own agenda here.
You have to really be a jerk to use the bad part, because really the good part is way better than the bad part.
Yeah, and if you're trying to set up everything and you're like, oh, I need somebody else, I need to get more people in here, like, oh, I need to get an employee, like, you're managing so much stuff in this park that you're like, I don't have time to worry about you fools are doing. Like, I'm worrying about what's going on in my park. And I think as a kid of like the 80s and 90s, like roller coaster tycoon type era, this speaks to me on that level. And like Action Park. I want to Fred, have you been to Action Park?
I know, I was going to say, I'm going to make, next time I play Unfair, I'm going to make mine Action Park. All the rides are going to break down and kill people, give them burns.
It can't really be that bad. But it is like, it's fun to like work in your park, get more people in, upgrade your rides to meet your goals. I really like it. So my 151, Unfair.
In Unfair, there's also a card, there's a couple cards you can put out as like an overall like global rule. One of them is World Peace. So that means you can't use the bad parts of those cards. So I like to play with that one because then no one can play the bad cards. So it takes out all the meanness. Well, there's still some, but it takes out that element of it. Have you? So he has been the Action Park.
We watched the documentary. If you haven't watched the documentary,
Dude, Class Action Park
Class
is so
Action
good.
Park.
So good.
I can't believe 18 years, Fred. I'm glad you're still alive, man. After what I saw, I'm glad you're still alive.
That was some crazy stuff.
151.
All right, so my number 151 is a game. This will be on my top 10 list of games under $20.
Oh, yeah.
And this game is called Fool's Gold. So we found this, I'll give you the story. Found this at a Black Friday sale. We find a lot of stuff at Black Friday sales. And it was on like the 90% off or 80% off table or something. It ended up being like $6.50 or something like that.
I'm like, oh, look at this game.
It was less than $10. And we bought it. It looked cool. Ian O'Toole art. Some designer that I don't know. It's Passport Game Studios, I think. And basically what this game is it's a push your luck game, kind of. You have these different miners. You're going to be going out to these 5 different locations or 6 different locations, and you're trying to collect gold. The way that you're doing it is you're going to be taking a meeple. He's going to go to a location, and the location may have a value on it that you have to pay. The further up closer to the deck of cards that you're going to be flipping through is higher priority, and they cost more money, but you get first dibs in the cards. Then when everybody's done all that, you're going to look at a value of dice that's at the location. So there may be 2 or 3 dice, because before the round you roll dice and they're going to go out to the mines to see if they're open or not. Then you're going to multiply the dice by the amount of meeples there, and you're going to flip that many cards. In that flip, there's going to be dirt, which is, worthless, gold of different values, maybe some gemstones, maybe some false alarms, maybe some bad weather that's going to make you get rid of some cards. So if you have higher priority, you get first pick at the card. So I may take a gold card, and then the next person gets to take a card. You're going to keep taking cards. You can decide to pass up on the cards, take a winner action. Then after all the other mines have gone, you can try to get some better cards. The trick here is you can't just spend all your time at one mine, because if you collect a ton of gold from one mine, it becomes fool's gold and it's out of the game. So you need to spread your love around to all the other mines to try to collect as close to an even a number of gold as you can, so you're not going to go from 30 points to 10 points. You want to, maybe if you have 6 gold at all the mines, you're getting rid of 6 points. You still have a nice, pile of points. It's a really cool push your luck game. It's enjoyable. I don't know why it doesn't get any love. I was just watching a video today. It was on another person's review, or top 100, 200, and it was number 150. So I feel good about myself.
Oh.
So if you can find this game and you like push your luck, you like different types of games, I would say pick it up. I'm sure people have it for trade. I don't know. We have it, so I don't care. I don't look at it. But it's a great game. Fool's Gold 151.
And it's like, it's not hard. Like, I've introduced this to like non-gamers, that you kind of have to explain how cards come out. But the idea of like, hey, you're a miner and you're going to go out and mine, I think is really fun. Like that theme is really cool. Yeah, it's got good art. I like it.
It was called Cannonball Slide or Loop or something. We just watched it yesterday.
It was a disaster. Oh my gosh, Fred.
You need to watch that documentary. It's real good. If you have HBO Max, I don't know where else it is.
Anyway, so the last one of tonight is a newer game. And I think I've only played this once, but it's
newish, I think.
It's good. It's so good. And that game is called Jinja.
I was looking at mine. Yeah, yours is new.
We don't have the same list. I know we had one game that was on both lists in the same place, but...
You're right. It's new. It came out this year.
Thank you. So, Jinja, you have this map of Japan, and it's worker placement, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to build temples in these different places, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And you've got these goals that you're trying to reach with your cards to get in-game points.
It's like area control when you're building.
Yes, and then plus there's like this area control. And for me, it's like super tight. You don't have a ton of actions, and you're fighting for these spots to build, and it felt very intense to me. It was it's really pretty. So pretty, but it felt really intense. And we only played that one time.
You played it. I played it with you at 2, and I've also played it at 3. It's less intense at 3.
I think that's weird.
Because more spaces are open. And the
it didn't seem like a bunch of spaces
ratio
were closed.
of spaces that were open in 3 players gives you more spaces as opposed to 2 player.
Huh.
So the amount of meeples and the extra spaces that are open gives you more spaces to go to. Like, you know what I'm saying? The math is that.
Do you get more workers then also at 3?
You get less at 3, but there's more spaces open. So there's more more spaces throughout the game in a 3-player game than there is at 2. Comparably. I mean, yes, there's more, but if you take the same amount for 2 and the same amount for 3, 3 feels more open than 2.
Okay. I get what you're saying.
I was trying to explain. It was coming out of my mouth terribly, but you know what I'm saying.
Did you talk about this in the podcast?
I'm not sure if I did or not. I don't know.
I feel like I remember us discussing it, but then I don't remember how you described the game.
I don't think I did.
There's more to it than just the area control building the temples, but you get like...
You have to have building permits.
Yes,
that
right.
require different resources and let you build in one of the like 4 or 5 regions.
Right.
There's small, medium, and large. There's also some set collection of that as well because you're trying to get
sizes of temples. Yes.
Like maybe I need to build the most small temples.
But you're getting like bonuses. There's a way to get.
There's lanterns at each region. That if you have the majority, everybody who's there gets the bonus on the lantern.
Right.
If you have the majority, you get the bonus twice.
And that's that changes as more places are being played.
Yeah.
Maybe we talked about it on the video.
I think it was.
I feel like we talked about this in preview. Really pretty. I don't know. It's WizKids. I don't know who designed it though.
No idea. I'm surprised it's WizKids. It's a good game for WizKids. A lot of their stuff I'm not interested in.
But it's pretty. Of course, Japanese theme. It's got neat components. I like it. So, well, how do we pick that up? Like,
we were at Epic Loot as a Father's Day gift.
Oh, you're welcome. Jinja, my number 150.
My number 150 is a game, I think you talked about it, maybe on the podcast or another video.
I did talk about it in a video, I think.
And it is called Arctic Scavengers. And we played the one that has the base game, HQ, and Recon all in the same box. The first time we played base game. The last time we played it, we actually used one of the other modules. There's like 8 or something modules. This is a deck builder game in post-apocalyptic winter wasteland for some reason. And what you're trying to do is...
winter.
Oh, that's true. You're trying to collect... You're basically using cards to acquire other cards. But in this one, you can actually dig through this junk pile, which is basically a deck of cards that you can't buy from. You can only get them by digging. And what digging means is, based on like a certain shovel value I have, I may be able to dig 3 cards. I dig 3 cards, I keep 1 or none. But in that pile, there's decent cards, not great cards, but decent cards. And then junk. There's also junk in there. Junk is worthless. You don't want those. So if I draw 3 cards and there's 3 junk, I'm just going to put those back in the bottom of the deck because I don't want that. Then you're also trying to use strength. You're going to use some cards to buy some cards. Every card you have left at the end of the game, you're going to compare it to, or at the end of the round, you're going to compare to everybody else. Whoever has the most people and most strength gets this special card that only one person knows what it is because they get the chance to look at it at the beginning of the round. Whoever the first player is. I forget what the actual term is, but
that's my favorite part.
You get to look at the card and decide how hard you want to fight for it. And that kind of gives everybody a clue of how good it is. Or you could bluff, whatever. Yeah. And then whoever has the highest value of fighting gets that card. If there's a tie, it gets shuffled into that scrap deck. So you may just go digging and get a good card out of there. A great card out of there. That's worth some points. And at the end of 12 or something rounds, whoever has the most points, based on every card has some point value at the bottom. Like people, I think, is what the points are. Whoever has the most points is the winner. So that's what you're trying to do. Digging for stuff, buying some cards, duking it out to get the good cards. And that's it. So my number 150, Arctic Scavengers.
And like each card can have like different uses, so you choose how you're going to use it.
You can use all of them like in one of 4 different ways.
And you have tools, but if you have a tool, you have to have someone to use it. So it's a balance between getting items and then having people to use them. Fred, this is a deck builder that is
no text. Very, very little text.
Almost none. Just mostly symbols.
Yeah, mostly symbols. Some of the cards do have some text on the bottom, but not very much. Yeah, there might be a sentence, but it's not super small.
I don't remember if there's a sentence, but yeah, it's not. I don't think in the base game. I think that's one.
Yeah, it might have been the expansion one,
like an assassin or something. Yeah. I don't know. It's neat. It's a little bit different. Another kind of different type of deck builder, where you're buying from a market, but then you also can like diversify how you're using what you have. I just think it's cool. Okay, so let's do a quick recap. Since we have kept you long enough, I think we're just us talking to Fred right now, so which we're always happy to do.
Yep, us and Fred.
So I'll start from 165, go down to 150. So my 165 was Euphoria, Build a Better Dystopia. 164 was Summer Camp. 163 Dark Tales. 162 Taxi Derby. 161 Lucky's Misadventures. 160 Hero Realms. 159 Holmes, Sherlock, and Mycroft. Did I say 159? Yeah. 158 Le Havre. 157 Harry Potter Death Eaters Rising. 156 Black Fleet. 155 The Prodigals Club. 154 Chiseled. You're covering up my list. 153 Freedom the Underground Railroad. 152 Parks Memories Coast to Coast. 151 Unfair. And 150 Jinja.
All right, so my number 165 is gone. It is Wasteland Express Delivery Service. 164 Camby Creatures. 163 Ecos First Continent. 162 King of New York. 161 Legendary, a Marvel deck building game. 160 Victorian Masterminds. 159 The Castles of Burgundy. 158 CO2. 157 Railroad Revolution. 156 Black Fleet. 155 Cleopatra and the Society of Architects. Man, I should have picked shorter names. 154 Scoville. 153 Santa's Workshop. 152 Elysium. 151 Fool's Gold. 150 Arctic Scavengers plus everything.
And so now we're at 150. 50 more to work down to our top 100. If you like this list, go check out our podcast. We've been working from our 100 down. This week, Friday, we'll drop the 40s, I believe.
40 to 31, yep.
No, 50 to 41.
Yes, that's correct. Maths is hard. You saw me try to explain the whole Jinja thing.
So if we'd love to hear, I hope you found a game that maybe you've never heard of that you want to check out. We'd love to hear games that you like. If you played one and you had a bad experience, you can yell at us. That's fine. Go for it.
Or try it again. Maybe you won't have such bad experience.
I know. I'm working on it. We've got videos for a lot of these games. Check out our YouTube. Hang out with us on Facebook. Message us. We love to hear from you guys. We love to talk about games. And so I think it is time to say goodnight.
That it is.
All right. Keep gaming, everybody.
Keep gaming.